Welcome to Life in Rural Japan. Today I'd like to talk about the aging population, the decline in birth rate. So in Japan they don't really see it as such a big deal. Like as far as the Western countries, you know, there's been a lot in the media about it, how Japan's got such an aging population and, you know, that's why we're in a really big depression. I don't know if it is or not, but we are in a depression. But you know, there's still plenty of work around. People still working. You know, like older people, when they hit 60 and 65 and they retire, many go and find another job and do a part-time job to keep themselves occupied and active. So, you know, many Japanese live well over 80, 90. It's not uncommon, you know, and they're still pretty healthy. You know, my father-in-law, he worked at the clean centre until he was 80, and now he's about 83 or 84. He still gets out, does the farming and drives the tractor and cuts the grass and does whatever he has to do, you know. So he's still pretty active, you know, in his 80s. So this is very common out here in the country, you know. Like in the country, a lot of have done farming all their life. So they hit 65, they don't think, oh, it's time to retire now. They just keep doing it every day. And they do it 7 days a week. It's not like, oh, we have to have Saturday, Sunday off. It's you know, they work 7 days a week. And it's just like breathing to them. It's nothing, you know, like it's just part and parcel of life. They get up and go do the farming, you know. So I think that the way people look at old age in Japan is a lot different to the way people look at it in other countries. Like here we have the daycares. So if you have a look here, I'll show you a bit about the daycares. So in Japan they have a lot of these services. They don't really have old people's homes. They have a few, but mainly they have these like daycare services where they go around and pick up old people and then bring them to these places where they look after them and bath them and take care of them for a day. So here they've picked them all up and they're taking them inside. So these are quite popular in Japan. So this is one here. You know, they'll give them a bath and look after them and feed them and that for the day, and then they'll take them home in the afternoon. So to give the people home a bit of a break. So instead of having retirement homes where they're looked after all the time, they just come and look after them in the daytime. Nighttime they go home. So they're like a daycare service. So we just put the wheelchairs and everything in. So you got the daycare system that helps take a bit of pressure off the kids looking after the parents. Because here, like, the homes are a lot bigger. They're designed to have 2 or 3 generations living in the one house. The houses are much bigger. They're designed for this sort of thing, and they grow up knowing that they'll be looking after the parents and looking after the grandparents and that sort of thing. That's just how society is. So it's not such a big problem. Like in Australia, when people get too old to live by themselves, they just ship them off to a old people's home and shove them in there, you know. But here there are old people's homes, but not that many of them. They more sort of do the daycare system to help out. And now there is a lot more foreigners coming, living in Japan and working, so that's helping, taking a lot of pressure off the healthcare system and pension system, because if they work in Japan they have to pay into the healthcare and pay into the pension system. So that's help injecting money into it. So it's not as bad as the foreign media is making out, I think. You just have to sort of more look at it from the Japanese point of view. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. So if you've got any comments or any ideas about it, please let me know in the comments below. I'd be really happy to read them. Anyway, that's all for today.